Hello, Ray Phoenix here. Welcome to Let's Play Twisted Metal 2, Part 4. This time around, we're going to Holland again. This is actually this is kind of where it begins a tradition throughout the Twisted Metal games that came out afterwards, where there's at least one level in every Twisted Metal game, so the first one. Is this set in a wide open field, or is this filled with nothing? It's pretty much filled with nothingness, if that makes any sense. Where you can just drive around, there's nowhere to hide, nowhere to run around to, nowhere to come across, nothing. It's just simply a wide open battlefield where all the enemies in the entire game can come toe-to-toe at each other and fight each other and pretty much duke it out, and it's pretty much a completely unbiased fight. Unbiased in which there's no, environmental advantages or environmental tactics or any of that. So it's just simply head-on car combat in a wide open field with, again, absolutely it's filled with nothingness. So you see we're in Holland, which is the home of the legendary Dutch. We see the Dutch windmills everywhere, the Dutch land, the Dutch farms are upon us, which I'm sure the Dutch people should be perfectly okay with us just destroying it so we could, for the purposes of this tournament. It's really easy to use your special weapon without extreme prejudice in a place like this. Depending on what your special weapon is. It'd be awesome if I had unlimited special weapons. I keep spamming it at all my enemies. That actually would work really well, but I don't have unlimited specialties because, that's just how you as the main playable character are. And there's you can destroy those haystacks, you can find things. You can often find health. I don't know, there's a lot of health pickups in this level actually, which is actually pretty good on our part. The music in this game is most notably known for being in Jet Moto as well, too. Well, I mostly know it from being in Jet Moto. I played Jet Moto a lot before I played this. So I actually kind of thought it was funny hearing it in this game, too, after hearing it in Jet Moto. Well, that's just because I played Jet Moto first, and Jet Moto is a game I played a lot as a kid. And I did play this game a lot as a kid, I'll admit I did, but not nearly as much as I played Jet Moto, or at least not when I was a younger kid. I actually got Twisted Metal 3 and 4 before I actually had this one. So those ones are actually a little bit more nostalgic to me than this game is. This game's still pretty nostalgic, too. It's good old mid-90s entertainment where you could run around, or you can drive around and shoot at stuff. And you don't really want to get close to Axel, because Axel's just going to use a special weapon on you, which is overpowered. And something else that's interesting in this game too, I found out. This is the only Twisted Metal game I know where you can actually damage your opponents by freezing them. And all the other ones, when you freeze them, it doesn't do any damage to them. It just freezes and keeps them in place. In this game, it actually does damage to them. It's also good they incorporate a shield in this game as well too. There's a full health. Just as you go into this windmill, it just happens. Yeah, that's right. They destroy the windmills. Mr. Grimm doing all this. But Mr. Grimm's a pansy. He just ran him down easy and killed, which makes sense. It's an army truck going against frickin' Mr. Grimm, the Grim Reaper on a motorcycle. Of course he's gonna lose to us. I think it's really fun to throw the Acme bombs around, have them ricochet around the level. It takes a long time for them to ricochet how large this level is. Again, this probably is one of the largest levels in the game. Or at least the largest open level in the game. It's the most open playing field. And other Twisted Metal games tried achieving this interesting sense of being in a wide open field, but most of them didn't really do as well as the whole open field thing, or at least most of the other ones that I know of. And health for fills do regenerate here over time too, but unfortunately the enemy could pick it up too, which is kind of, a bit hazardous to our plan. And it's good to pick up a lot, as I keep saying, it's good to pick a lot of homing missiles and just, shoot at them. But again, homing missiles aren't as homing in this game as there are some of the later games. The later games, they can actually home in on enemies from far away. This one, they're not actually as good, and they don't do as much damage here. I think they did a little more damage in the first game, if I remember correctly. This is one of the levels my father would play all the time. It's like his favorite level in the game. He constantly plays this level. He played it several times over and over again to find stuff and see if there are any hidden secrets in this level. He also stated too that I'm not sure if it's the whole game, but in the deathmatch mode, or I think it's called challenge mode in this game, like a single battle mode. It was new to this game. The original Twisted Metal just had so you could only play in the tournament mode only. There's no single battle mode. But in the single battle mode in this game, and eventually you win. It's likely for you to win at least once or so, but after you win a certain amount of times, the game becomes rigged, so it becomes near impossible for you to win. I've never confirmed that myself, because I have a life. I actually do things in my life. And I don't have time to necessarily confirm if everything works. It doesn't work in a game that came out 25 plus years ago that I doubt anyone still cares. Or do people even still care about this game? I'm sure I do still care about this game. Fans of classic gaming still care about this game, but do most people still care about this game? I don't know if people actually still care about this game or not, but I'm sure they do. I'm sure the people who made this game still do. This is considered to be the greatest car combat game ever made. Mostly because it's a sequel to the original car combat game, so yeah, I guess And a lot of people agree this is better than the sequels overall. This is like considered on the top 100 greatest games of all time. So yeah, I guess there's some people still care about it. I mean, I'm not really so much interested in modern games, which is why I don't own any modern game systems, such as a PS5 or Xbox Series X or Xbox One or PS4. I don't own any of those systems, but if those game systems like that still had games like these made for them nowadays with the same kind of charm, the same kind of fun and entertainment factor, yeah, I totally would buy new game systems and I would play new games. But I just find that new games, they just kind of lack the charm. I'm not really into new games as much as I was into the old games like this. These are my kind of games. That's pretty much why, if you look at all the videos I've made on this channel, pretty much every game I've ever played or ever made a video of is a classic video game. I don't even think I've ever made any videos of modern or mainstream games on modern mainstream systems. But that's kind of what you expect from this channel. It's pretty much a retro gaming channel, if that makes any sense, because my stuff is video game stuff anyways. But of course, I've done other stuff too. I used to do experimental videos way back when I would do like drawing videos and stuff like that. Because back my channel's an experimental stage. I don't really do stuff like that much anymore on my YouTube channel. I did make a video of a sculpt showcase where I showcased some of my sculpts. But it takes a long time to make a sculpt. I only have like enough sculpts for like 2 videos. I don't really have enough sculpts to keep making a lot of videos, but I did want to make like an art gallery video where I showcase fan art people make for me. I'd like to do that eventually too. I'm sure a lot of you would like to see that, all you people out on YouTube watching. I just killed Mr. Slam using a machine gun. It actually is really very well possible to kill someone in this game just by using a machine gun. The sequel, it's a lot harder to do that because the machine gun isn't really that powerful in the sequels. It's like a little pea shooter, like a little pellet gun kind of shooter. Like in the sequels, doesn't really do much damage at all. But in this game, it actually does do a pretty good amount of damage. Just like the first one, that might be just 989 messed with. But a lot of people don't like how 989 messed with the Twisted Metal franchise. But they should have just stayed away from Twisted Metal and instead stuck with sports games, which is what they were pretty much known for. And they should have stayed off Twisted Metal. I don't know, what am I to say anything about anything? Since when did I know anything about anything? Well, actually, I do know a lot of stuff about these games. I know that after this game, when Sony lost Single Track, and Single Track was pissed that they lost Twisted Metal, so they made Rogue Trip Vacation 2012 next as like the true successor to this game, as some people would call it. I actually played Rogue Trip Vacation 2012. It's like Twisted Metal mixed with Crazy Taxi. I think it may have even come out before Crazy Taxi. Don't quote me on that. I don't know when the original Crazy Taxi came out. But no, it's a similar premise. You have to pick people up and take them to their destinations, and you win money, and you can buy upgrades and things like that. While at the same time, you have to destroy your competition by using weapons and other means necessary to destroy them. It's a pretty fun game overall, but it's no Twisted Metal. It's nowhere near as good as Twisted Metal. I don't even think the people at Single Track that made that game even admitted that, yeah, it's not Twisted Metal. It's nowhere near as good as Twisted Metal. This still doesn't properly make up for Single Track not making Twisted Metal free. They later made that up in 2005, made up for that in 2005 when they made Twisted Metal head-on. But by then, the car combat franchise is pretty much a dead interest. I keep saying that. You don't really see very many car combat games anymore. Kind of is a dead genre, much like a dead music genre. And I think there's a lot of music genres that have come and gone. Well, the same is true for game genres. A lot of game genres have come and gone. It's like, I know that, and what else has come? What are dead genres? I know arcade games are kind of a dead genre as well. You don't really see very many, like, classic arcade. Like, there's gonna be some indie games you might see that are like that. For the most part, you don't really see classic arcade games like that anymore, and taxi games. I mean, sure, there recently was a taxi game I actually took part in. It was called Adam's Taxi Service. It was I actually had my Captain Fusion character be a pedestrian in the game that gets picked up, which I thought that was really a big honor to have a character of mine, a character or multiple characters. I'm probably going to submit more characters eventually. I already submitted my Annie character from Odyssey of Oddities to be in the game as well too, but I probably will have more characters in the game eventually. It's pretty cool that the Adam's Taxi, that the guy, what's his name, Zach23, I think his name is, making this game, and he actually allows us to use our characters in the game. I think it's a really cool idea. And since it's a PC game, it's probably easy to mod too. I bet people are probably already making mods for that game. It's pretty much a taxi game, which is, a kind of a dead genre. You don't really see very many Crazy Taxi-like games much anymore. In fact, I didn't even really know very many Crazy Taxi games. All I know is since there's Crazy Taxi, and then there's Simpsons Road Rage, which I heard the people who made Simpsons Road Rage actually got sued for that, for making a taxi game that was way too similar to Crazy Taxi. But then again, I mean, Single Track never got sued by Sony for making Rogue Trip Vacation 2012. And same with the people who made other car combat games like Carmageddon, they never got sued by Sony, I don't think. Same with the people who made Vigilante 8 and all those other car combat games that started to become popular following the release of Twisted Metal 2. I don't think any of them ever got sued for copyright infringement. People who made Quantum Redshift never got sued for copyright infringement either. So why should they get sued? Concepts are not copyrighted. You can't copyright a concept or idea. It's just an idea, a concept. I wish I could copyright my ideas and concepts, but I can't because you can't copyright those. That's one of the few. Well, actually, it's one of many things actually it's not copyrighted. Kind of like a Quizno subs, when their most definitive characteristic was the fact that they toast your sub, and then years later, Subway stole that idea from them. They couldn't sue Subway because it's such a simple, obvious thing to do. I bet people hundreds of years ago came up with that idea where you could put a sandwich in an oven or a toaster or whatever it is, or some fancy thing like that, and you could toast your sandwich. It's a really easy thing to do. A monkey can figure out how to do that easy. Being a monkey, I always wonder if there's ever going to be any monkey characters in Twisted Metal or ever non-human characters in Twisted Metal, like monkeys or stuff like that. And that's when I got an idea for making a crossover of Twisted Metal and Ape Escape, which is actually possible because those are those franchises that are owned by Sony. It actually is possible for there to be an Ape Escape and Twisted Metal crossover or something like that. Imagine you play a Spike and you drive one of the cars and it has weapons, stuff like that. You have to destroy the monkeys and cars and capture them. And it would be like a car combat game kind of thing, and they're trying to destroy you too. And it'd have like several levels to the game. A game just like this would have I think it would even have more levels than this. It would have a story as well to like a deep story. It might even have more than just Spike, and sure you can play as Spike, but I think it would be cool to introduce other characters too. You'd also want to capture the monkeys as well too. I thought it would be cool if the Ape Escape games had more playable characters in each game than just simply the main character. There's a de facto rule in that series that every game in that series has a different main character, which I think is, some people think it's good like me, but some people think it's not that great, especially with an Ape Escape 2 where introduced some kid named Jimmy. It's not as good as Spike. He's kind of like he is a Spike what James Franciscus was to Charlton Heston, and so he destroyed our enemies in this battle. Now it's time we take on the final boss. Darktooth, Sweet Tooth's father, rises from the sewers. "You killed my son," he shouts. "I want my little clown boy back." Oh boy. So that's where he was all this time then. If you recall, Sweet Tooth's father was Charlie Kane, the guy who drove Yellow Jacket. No wonder why I haven't seen his car parked out in the street in this level. And no wonder why he wasn't in this game. He's driving Darktooth. He's driving the final boss of this game. So that makes a lot of sense now. That's why he wasn't in this game. He's the reason why we're playing as Warthog right now, not as Yellow Jacket. Everyone's favorite taxi cab from the original Twisted Metal, Yellow Jacket. So yes, this boss is actually one of the easier final bosses in the Twisted Metal games. He's really large, he sticks out like a sore thumb, he's a really big target. If you have a really good special weapon, which is exactly what we have, he's actually really easy to take out. It's really easy to freeze him in place, it's really easy to shoot projectile weapons at him, which is exactly what we specialize in, being our Patriot missiles, as being Warthog. So he's actually kind of an easy target. He's actually really easy to take out this Darktooth. But he's really large. And you can destroy any enemy easy by just ramming into them. But if you stay at far away distance back from him, you can still get a lot of good hits on the swords. And the machine gun actually does quite some damage on him too. Let's destroy Yellow Jacket again. Oh, we've got some power missiles from Yellow Jacket. We just destroyed Yellow Jacket, parked outside the street. I think they may have even used the same model, or a very similar model to Yellow Jacket from the original Twisted Metal. A nice little nod to Yellow Jacket. This is the closest we ever get to seeing Yellow Jacket appear outside of the original Twisted Metal, but still in the PS1 Twisted Metal library. That Darktooth is really powerful. Unfortunately, you can't play as Darktooth in this game. You can only play as him if you have a Game Shark and hack the game using a Game Shark, which is something that not very many people, I don't think, had. Or at least I never had a Game Shark. I have considered getting one, but never actually owned a Game Shark before, so I don't really know. But apparently it is possible. The game glitches on too, from what I've seen. It actually does. Some levels in the game break or have corrupted textures, things like that, because Darktooth is not intended to be a playable character in this game. So he's destroyed Darktooth, but wait, what's this? Inside the giant head, you see the shriveled figure of an old man. It's Charlie Kane. "Hedge up, you freak!" the senile fool screams. Okay, so let's fight him again. This fight ain't over yet. So let's strap in, let's get our weapons equipped, and we're ready to take on the real final boss in this game. What could it be? It's a flying head. the flying head of Dark Tooth. Why am I not surprised? It's the flying head of Dark Tooth. We knew Sweet Tooth, there was some sort of thing going on with Sweet Tooth in this game. We know he's not a playable character. We know there was something up with that. And despite the fact he appears on the title screen, and he's been a character we've seen randomly appear throughout this game so far, so we knew something was going to happen. And now Charlie Kane is dead. We are the winner, and we're going to meet Calypso in New York and claim our ultimate prize.
His body worn from 100 years of use, Captain Rogers struggled to stand before me. As his prize, he asked to be young again. He wanted a second chance at life. "Please, Calypso," he begged. "Give me the body of a 20-year-old. Congratulations, you now have the body of a 20-year-old. Maybe next year you will win Twisted Metal again and ask for the head of someone the same age. I am Calypso, and I thank you for playing Twisted Metal."
And so, yes, that's what happens. He won Twisted Metal only to get exactly what he wanted, the body of a 20-year-old. He never said anything about a head, he never said anything about anything else. Oh no, he just wanted a body, which is actually not that bad of a gift, actually. He saves money on Halloween now, and he can still be strong and burly and still do a lot of great things, so I guess he kind of got something good, but he doesn't really like having a bad head like that. He's still more than interested in competing in next year's Twisted Metal, so he can get a head to go with that body, which is exactly what he does in the next game, Twisted Metal 3. So, we'll probably see if he gets another head or not in that game, or maybe, I don't know, something else completely different might happen. Who knows? Twisted Metal 3 is a really wacky bag of a game. So is this game in a lot of ways. There's all kinds of freaky characters in this game and all sorts of hidden secrets, and this game really is a masterpiece on the PlayStation's part. And so this concludes this Let's Play. I am Ray Phoenix, signing out.